Hi and hello, football fans. It's your old pal Dave Dameshek. What's going down? I hope all's well wherever you are. Welcome to the Dave Dameshek Football Program, presented as always by McDonald's. McPick 2. Two items for $2, all delicious, so it really doesn't make a difference which two you choose. Your belly's going to be satisfied. The divisional round is in the books. We're going to break that down for you. Personally, was I satisfied by it? No. No, I was not. But
we're going to break some kind of way.
Yeah, I'm feeling low about it. I would like to have
just
seen.
Just in general, just overall.
But we're going to break it all down. We're breaking down all 4 games coming up for you. We'll also look ahead to see who will survive the 2 title games and advance to Santa Clara, where we'll meet up with them in early February. Maurice, Ike, Matt Money Smith, and the rest of us will be doing our show from Media Row out there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the Super Bowl. And also, yes, football matters, especially in January and early February. But you know what matters more? The game called life. And thank goodness Ike Taylor's here and his pal Maurice Jones-Drew to address the questions of their football colleagues, not about the games that happen between the lines, but beyond the lines. And advice. Dear Ikey coming up for you. And I don't know which football player's question we will field today, but make sure it's always must-listen or must-watch podcast in here. All right, let's say hello to everybody before we jump into this divisional round game. We start off with the man seated to my immediate right, all the way from London, England. Here he is, everybody. It's Handsome Hank.
See, this ain't even his show.
He's handsome, he's handsome.
How it don't be your show, but you get a whole montage.
He did that in our studio, too, just to let you know. He did it in the studio.
I did it in yours, in Maurice's studio.
In yours, in ours.
Hello, Handsome. How are you?
Montage it ain't your show.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
These guys are always upset. They're always angry about you getting an intro song, and they don't have one. It's not about whether it's your show or not. It's that they don't have one, right?
When it started off, I thought they were being petty, but now 6 months later, and you still didn't do anything for them, I'm kind of on their side at this point.
What's up with that?
1 week ago today, I made a promise, a solemn vow to my friends
19
Maurice.
weeks ago.
19 weeks ago, exactly.
All right, but I put my foot down on myself.
Right. Every week after that, but then last week.
I lowered the boom on one Dave Dameshek and said, if you don't have theme music for Maurice and Ike 1 week from now, then shame the devil. You have to get up and walk out of Studio 66. And Handsome, Maurice, and Ike will do the show themselves, and that'll be it.
Let's do it.
Well, I'm a man of honor. I'm a man of integrity. I dialed up the one-man house band. Not really, but in this particular instance, the answer is yes to that. First of all, let's say hello, and then we'll hear his brand-new theme song by the one-man house band, Dick Banks. Here he is, everybody, late of the Jaguars and Raiders. Now our pal on NFL Now doing gangbusters work. It's Maurice Jones-Drew.
5'7", full of sexiness.
You gotta be kidding me.
MJD is on the show.
There you go,
That is
Maurice.
great.
What about that?
Good.
Hey, they gotta stop.
That's really good.
It was hot. 5'7", I'm 5'8".
You were worried.
A little off, but I get it. I like it.
5'7" of sexiness.
Yeah, it was sexiness. I appreciate that.
That was all right.
Yeah, that's
Why
pretty
did you
good.
do the country, though?
That's how Shaq gonna do it.
Okay.
Next up, let's say hello to the 12-year Pittsburgh Steeler, ready to chop it all up for us here. Here he is, number 24, Ike Taylor, everybody.
Number 24 is in the house. Ike Taylor's on the show.
That was nice.
Hey, that was like a little. I forgot the name.
It was Cajun.
Yeah, it was Cajun with
that
a
was
little
Creole.
country.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Ike,
That's
how
good.
say you?
When I got mine, it took a long way to get to where I
What
got
you
to
mean?
in the end. I didn't start there.
No.
I started down here. I think yours are a little higher than I was before.
Ow.
How?
I think we had like a hip-hop track
Yeah,
on
I had a
Handsome,
hip-hop,
and then we had to
and then-
tailor it to
yeah.
who he is. What? I thought that was nice. I was Cajun-y.
So
That's where you're from, the Bayou.
My point is accurate. You got to swap us. You had to give Handsome Hank this
What?
first. Give us the hip-hop and let us just filter.
Listen,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. That we're workshopping.
You don't care.
Right.
You don't care.
You don't get it right.
I mean,
first
I
time.
don't know. I don't understand. It had your
was the
region of the
thought that
country
counts.
represented there. I those.
What about my region of the country?
That was-
I don't know. What
I'm not-
sound comes out of the East Bay?
Not that.
That's for sure.
Let's just real quick, give them to me again. Let's hear Maurice's first.
5'7", full of
Am I from Texas?
MJD
Oklahoma?
is on the show.
Hey, you can't score three touchdowns on one play. That's what they say, cliches like that. Look, we're starting
Shaq,
from
I feel
round
like
one.
With that montage, we could have did that.
You sure you did?
Now let's hear.
7 full of sexiness.
Yeah,
That's
you
good.
could.
MJD is on.
Let me hear Ike's real quick. I don't know why.
Number 24 is in the house. Ike Taylor's on the show.
Really like
Then you got the at the end.
I really like the fact that just all it is they're on the show. It's not that they're going to be good or anything. They're just on the show.
Number 24, Ike Taylor's on the show. So that's
it.
the whole lyric.
And that's it.
All right, listen.
You cool with that?
I wish. Well, it's the only thing I'm cool about.
you
I'm
do.
sweating.
He's safe
I had a
himself.
hot tea right before the show. Why do I do this to myself?
You had a hot Sunday.
Yeah, I did. Listen. That's my way. It's
Hot fudge Sunday.
now hot tea Monday, and I'm getting sweaty all over again.
Hey, who made that up? What guy made it? Who sung that song?
Dick Banks, our pal, the one-man house band. Listen,
Hey, shout out to Dick Banks.
he
man.
fields
Taking time
requests.
doing
We
that
can
show.
work through this.
Can we get him to come at lunch one day and we can just say random people's names? He can just sing it at lunch.
Yes.
That would be nice.
That would be
with
hilarious.
his
That's
acoustic
sick.
guitar,
Yeah,
walk up to people. Yeah, that would be fun.
Just sit right in the lunchroom.
If you have any notes, if you have any critiques, you can give them to me or just say them out loud right now, and Dick Banks will receive them.
Nah,
and
shout
he'll
out to Dick Banks, man. He ain't have to do that.
Yeah, shout out, man.
But you know why he
It's
did
the effort
it
that counts.
to help Dave. Dave made it look like this is for you.
Oh,
but
no question.
Dave was going to have to leave the studio by this point
I
if
don't-
he hadn't come up with just something for you.
Now I don't care if I'm here. If the Steelers had won on Sunday, then I would want to be here
Well,
to
you
celebrate.
had some time on your hands
Hey, don't
yesterday,
get it
so you were
twisted. It's
probably
all about
just able
Shaq.
to get it done yesterday in a couple hours.
Boy, they are ruthless in here, Shaq.
Real quick, there is to just let you hear a little more of Dick Banks' work. Here's the intro he did for Black Tie once.
It's time for black tie shout-outs.
Why can I get that? This is more Bay Area than what I had.
You like that better? All right, listen. We'll work on it.
Black
That's all I
tie.
can
Look
tell
at
you.
Black Tie in
he
the
even
back.
let- he
Look at
even
Black
let
Tie in the back.
But wait, Black Tie
on
hasn't
track.
done a shout out since that happened. He got rid of that segment.
Yeah, before you guys were here, Maurice and Ike, Black Tie used to standardly give shout-outs to people that he didn't know. He just like bathroom attendants and dog walkers.
People who
and
have
stuff
bad
like
jobs that he wanted to
Because
get
he was-
recognition for.
He was commiserating with people with other people who he perceived to have bad jobs because it's a bad job in Black Tie's world
Black-
to have to talk about
Black
football
Tie-
instead of soccer
listen.
all the time.
Black Tie feel like he's the people's champ.
That's true.
Basically.
He does.
He just feel like he's the people's champ.
He's not the champion of anything though.
oh.
No, indeed. And now the team
Oh,
that
he
he
got it.
decided to embrace, the Seattle
He got the
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I guarantee he'll be a Panthers fan next.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's
Closer
definitely.
to
He already is.
He adopted them yesterday.
Closer
at
to
halftime.
Atlanta.
No,
Russell
Halftime.
who?
He filed the paperwork. He's adopting the Panthers.
No, it ain't like that, guys. It's I realize I'm from Atlanta and
Yeah.
Carolina's
You know,
closer,
Carolina's
so I'm
close.
And
by.
Cam's from Atlanta, and so we one time we were at
Yeah.
Cheesecake and he dabbed at me, and
Yeah.
I dabbed at him
They used to
back.
call me Little Cam.
Hey,
Yeah.
one's my guy. My high school classmates, call me Little Cam. All right, let's get into it. Very important stuff, and we'll start off with the better game of Saturday. That is the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. The first thing that jumps out to me is poor Aaron Rodgers.
Why?
Man, because, Randall Cobb goes down, and he's throwing passes to Jeff Janis. Jeff Janis. Who is Jeff
He's an
Janis?
NFL wide
Four
receiver.
Hey,
four
Black Tie.
regular season, barely, because four
Can we
regular
get,
season completions.
2.
Can we get Randall Cobb stats for this year? Can we pull up his stats?
It certainly felt like when you saw Randall Cobb go down. I assume most people thought, that's that. The Packers aren't
Oh,
that good.
No, they didn't.
Oh, really?
I did because I was like, well, they don't have Jordy Nelson, so that was the X factor. Jordy's not out there. Somebody else has to step up.
All right, Maurice, what jumped out at you about this game in the desert?
That their defense played lights out. That the Green Bay Packers defense played well, and if Sam Shield doesn't drop those 2 picks,
So
the game is over the other way because he's taking one to the house for sure. Maybe the second one, but he's been out a little bit. The ball got on him quickly. If he would have caught those 2 picks, the one, especially the one in the one where he was covering Michael Floyd, and he ran like a double move and he jumped it.
Yep.
There was no one else there. I mean, he has a sideline to himself.
That's a 7-point swing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's ugly.
Ike, well, of course, the Hail Mary, really on that drive there were 2 Hail Marys. It's funny if you put those plays side by side how similar they are. Roethlisberger, see where my head is. Rodgers rolling to his left and then uncorking that ball. Just crazy. I mean, I'm talking to scouts like our pal Bucky Brooks. That is just, as he put it, that's rare. He just said that's rare arm talent to be able to throw the ball like that, rolling to your left.
How many
under
people
pressure.
passed up on him, Shaq?
Well, that's what's interesting, too, is, Tom Brady, always you hear about the 6th-round draft pick. I think you may have heard about that, right, Handsome, that he was a 6th.
What happened?
Brady was drafted in the 6th round.
Really?
And he's had a chip on his
Like
shoulder
around
about it ever since.
199th overall.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard something.
Was that
but
exactly?
Aaron
something
Rodgers,
about
let's not forget, was slept on, relatively speaking. And, a lot of teams would obviously redo things to get their hands on Aaron Rodgers. Ike, what jumped out at you, or let me ask you this about the Cardinals. Was it more a compliment to Aaron Rodgers and what Mike McCarthy and Dom Capers did to try and give that defense a different scheme to get after the Cardinals, or is it an indictment of the Cardinals? Are they tight? Because these things do ebb and flow over the course of a season. We saw them end the regular season getting whipped in that stadium by the Seahawks, and they didn't look great on Saturday night either. Are the Cardinals not playing their best ball right now?
Yes, it's Carson Palmer. You know what I'm saying? Like Carson, man, he's that Alex Smith to me. There's only so much he can do. He gets rattled at the wrong time. You throw interceptions. You throw 2 interceptions. You have 2 drop. So basically, you could have thrown 4. Game would have been out the door long time ago. But you got a guy called Larry Fitzgerald who kept you in the game for 1, then won a game for you in overtime. So you got to give all your props to Larry and that defense. But it just seems at times, man, like the throws he was making, like, wow. Like, see, that's this drop right here.
Yeah, we're looking at that. You can watch it on
There's another
YouTube
one.
if you
Yeah,
want to see it.
there's 2 drops by Shields, and if 52 would have turned his head around, it would have been another pick. It's just he throws some dimes.
Mm-hmm.
Then he throws some bonehead plays, and you like, Carson, you too old to be making them kind of plays.
Yeah, he really does.
You know what I'm saying?
And yet it seems surprising because Bruce Arians, Handsome, is as delightful a head coach as there is. It seems like if any coach could get his team in the right frame of mind to, not be uptight and not talking platitudes a la Marty Schottenheimer or somebody like that, Arians is your guy. But they are clearly not playing very well right now.
I agree with Ike. I think it's Carson more than the rest of the team. The rest of the team they stood up, and they played pretty well. I think the defense.
One of Floyd's touchdowns was on
Right.
the tip pass. Don't get it twisted. That could have got picked.
That
too.
could have gone exactly.
That should have been.
That should have.
So basically, we woulda, coulda, shoulda. He had 2 for sure. It could have been 3. So a total could have been 5. They got out with the W, and they're moving on. So hats off to BA and company. But Carson right now, if you want to say who's the weakest link right now, he's the weakest link right now.
You got a lot of heat, Ike, in this past week from Broncos fans and otherwise because the first overtime touchdown with the new rules happened against the Steelers, against Tim Tebow and the Broncos. And I know a lot of Broncos fans I saw lighting you up, keeping it classy were the Broncos fans these last 7 days or so in advance and then after the game was completed. But looking at that overtime game, I got to say, I never loved the old overtime, but I don't think this is that much of a fix anyway. Aaron Rodgers, 2 straight overtime playoff losses, and he never touched the ball.
The issue is they got a chance to call a coin toss, right?
Well, that's fluke.
You lost, and then you pay those guys on defense to do what? To stop the offense.
I get it.
Life ain't fair, Shaq.
I get it.
Football ain't fair. The NFL is not fair.
Why
It
can't
means
you
not
in overtime?
fairly.
How about this? In overtime, maybe not regular season. The simple fix is like they do in soccer, I believe. Black Tie, correct me if I'm wrong. Just play 15 minutes. That's it. And if somebody leads at the end of the quarter, then that's your winner. Why wouldn't you at least give the other team a shot with the ball?
No.
How's that fixing anything?
If you kick 3, the other team get a shot.
If you
know
kick
what I'm
3,
saying?
what they did, they fixed it's terrible if someone kicks like a 48-yard field goal to win a game. And
I know,
the team
that's
doesn't
terrible.
That's terrible. They got
Right.
rid of that. But if you score a touchdown, you won the game.
Correct.
Yeah. Simple as that. I mean, to be honest,
Yes, but
Green Bay only can be mad at themselves because you run a zone blitz and no one covers Larry Fitzgerald, and then you allow him to run for, 70 yards or how many ever yards it was, that's your fault.
Yeah.
That ain't nobody's fault but yours. You should have tackled him.
What seems weird to me is that it's a paradox that Aaron Rodgers, if you complete Hail Marys, he did 2 proper touchdown Hail Marys over the course of the season. And then, like I say, on that drive that tied the game and forced the overtime, he threw another, essentially what was a Hail Mary, too, on 4th down. And yet they seem unlucky, especially Aaron Rodgers. Perhaps the greatest QB we'll ever see, and yet he feels a little snake bit.
You can't say that. Stop saying that.
Well, the coin flip thing was.
Tom Brady is the greatest QB you ever see.
All right, we'll get to that. I think
You know
maybe
he
you're right.
is.
Maybe
Don't
you're
you-
right.
You can't do that. They're both from the Bay Area. It's okay. The
That's
other place where quarterbacks are born and bred.
Well, I'm glad you know the first place where they're born and bred.
No, I don't know.
Dan Marino, Johnny Unitas, Joe
They're
Montana.
not from the same hood, though.
I mean, same hood. What was same hood? From the same city. They're from the same banks. They grew up on the banks of the same 3 rivers. That's where they grew up.
All in Pittsburgh?
That's right. That's right.
I thought it was like Aliquippa.
Here's something I want to do. No, that's where Tony Dorsett, Mike Ditka, those guys are from. Hey, to show how improbable it is, I thought it would be fun to see if any of us could flip a coin like the referee did, how improbable it is that a coin wouldn't turn over, wouldn't actually flip. Go ahead, Ike. See if you can flip it. Make it go without it flipping. Almost. That was pretty good. It took a little dip there. Maurice, see if you can do it. Maurice, nope, that flipped over.
No,
But the coins are bigger. Those are the ones that they use for.
I think it was bizarre. It was like the
Oh,
Twilight.
that one did it. That one did it.
By the way, I don't want to say the producer who texted me this, but in the morning when I got in, I said, "Hey, as a part of the show, let's flip a coin and see if we can do it without the thing turning over." And about 20 minutes before we started the show, one of the producers, whose name I don't want to say, that is Matt Gothard, texted me, "Hey, do you have a coin for the coin flip?" That's NFL producing for you.
Good job, Matt.
You're the producer. You can't get you can't produce a coin.
Good job,
I'm
Matt.
broke, Shaq. I got nothing.
You didn't
Now I
pay
feel
him.
sad.
Sorry,
Now that was mean spirited.
That's what happens when you get married at 23.
I know.
Maybe
I'm
we'll
already
get to that
feeling
on Dear
the
Ike.
negative effect.
He's already feeling the negative effect on his wallet.
I think this. As we go along here, I want to touch on this. The legacy in the quarterback league, I get it. Don't drop me a line about how it's a team sport. It's a quarterback league.
Why you start talking low on that part?
Because people annoy me with their corrections to me as if I'm not lucid about the overall situation. People drop me a line like, "Dave, it's more than just about the quarterback." Yeah, but the quarterback makes $20 million for a reason. It's not all equal for a reason. The quarterback is the most important one, and we love to talk about them, and they're the stars of the league more than any other position. Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl this year. What does it do for his legacy? I say it makes him in the conversation at minimum at age 32 for the greatest quarterback of the Super Bowl era. If he has 2
Who's
rings.
going to tell Shaq that he's just got knocked out of the playoffs?
I said that's what would have been.
Hey,
Well,
shit.
I see.
Why we keep sleeping on Eli?
I'm sleeping on him. I say he's in the Hall of Fame right
Eli
now.
got 2. I just
Eli
think
got 2.
I think what Aaron the difference with Aaron
Not in the
Rodgers
conversation for best.
is the numbers. His numbers compared to Eli is crazy. He just only has that 1. But you got to remember all the guys that he's competing against. Carson Palmer's 36. Tom Brady's 38. Peyton Manning's 39. I mean, and you have Russell Wilson, but that's okay. Andrew Luck kind of fell off. Cam Newton. Those are guys I think that he can go out and beat. And so
Certainly.
I think all the really good quarterbacks, he's kind of coming into where it's going to be a transition of guys, and he still has that window of 5 to 7 years that he could play at a high level and win 2 or 3 more.
Last thing before we move on to the other NFC game. Handsome, if you're the GM of the Packers, what's the first order of business as you go into the offseason or before 2016? What's the one thing you're
going to
addressing?
tell us if you're really a fan or you're really serious about football. What's the first thing?
Wow, I'm on test. I think the offensive line, that's what they need to fix. I think Jordy Nelson's coming back, and the receivers, what's looked like an issue through the year is the receivers, but when you get Jordy back, that's fixed. You need to get some protection for Aaron Rodgers.
How you feel about that, Ike?
Is that all right?
I mean, it's cool. I'm going to go out and get a running back.
Yeah,
You're going to get running back.
Yeah,
I'm going to get another receiver.
I'm going to get a running back.
Really?
You need another receiver because Jordy Nelson comes back, he's 31.
Right.
Off of ACL, it's going to be tough.
Who
Well,
are the
you got a
receivers
young-
you like?
Got a young receiver.
Laquan Treadwell. I just was looking at
I
this
heard he
apropos of
can't-
nothing.
I heard he can't run, though.
Oh, really?
That's the word on the street. He's not going to run well. He's a good receiver, but a lot of people are enamored by the
Yeah,
numbers. You need a guy that can run. You need a guy that can take the top off, because you got to think Jordan Nelson's going to come back. He's going to lose a little bit of speed at the age of 31 just because of the age and the knee injury.
Dom Capers is a Dick LeBeau disciple. I feel like that 3-4 scheme specifically that Dick LeBeau and now Dom Capers run. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ike, and don't be offended, because I know you really hold everybody who's ever interacted with Dick LeBeau holds him in the highest of regard as a guy. But it seems to me that the NFL has kind of figured out what that is now, right? High-end teams know how to defeat that particular scheme at this point.
No, the 4-3 is just as easy to predict than a 3-4. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have the skilled players. You got to have the personnel for a 3-4. A 3-4, you need 3 to 4 years of personnel. Just, hey, I'm going to build a 3-4, I need a personnel. A 4-3, your 4-3 man is your 2 D tackles, basically. You get you 2 fire D tackles in the middle, you can start whatever on your defensive end, your inside linebackers, because you want those 2 guys to have the pressure, get pressure on the quarterback by pushing the pocket. Also, they can be run stoppers when it's time to run. So your 2 D tackles need to be penetrators. That's all your 4-3 needs. 2 good fire D tackles that can penetrate. Your 4-3 man, you need a stout D tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And his first thing is to protect the run. Your 2 DNs, they got to be like your 2 D tackles as your penetrators in the 4-3. You know what I'm saying? Then your outside linebackers, they got to be versatile / run stoppers. You know what I'm saying? So in your 4-3, your 2 outside linebackers, they're small and they're fast because they have to be able to cover. In a 3-4, your outside linebackers, again, is run first. By the way, drop back 12 yards to get to this passing. You know what I'm saying? In the 4-3 outside linebacking core, you're not asking them to smash the run. Smash the run on their way to the pass. It's 2 totally opposite, different kind of defenses. So the personnel is just different, and it's hard to draft guys in a 3-4 defense than a 4-3 defense. I don't think too many people figure it out. It's just personnel-wise, it's hard to gather a good group of guys at one particular time because they're not giving these coaches 3 to 4 years to get their own defense.
It does seem like the Packers made some strides defensively. They rebooted
played
that
good.
secondary.
It was 20. It was 20 points.
That was one of their best performances in a long time.
And could have had 5 turnovers.
Yeah,
Could.
true enough.
But for the guy that you think is the best quarterback in the NFL, for half the season he looked like he was running scared.
I agree.
And
so your offensive line,
their offensive
right,
line
but they
got
were banged
banged up.
around.
That's
yeah.
what I mean.
And
But I think you need to get some youth there. Then you're not going to have guys that are banged up so much. Their backups weren't good enough to protect him.
Well, yeah.
And then that made the receivers look less good.
But so your first pick, you're gonna go tackle, but you already have a starting 5 already. That's all I'm saying. Like you gotta, when you draft a first rounder, he has to come in and play now, regardless of what team it's on. If it's New England, if it's whoever, if he's a first round
be
pick,
a guy that's playing
he has to
right
start.
In other
See,
words,
I-
smarten up, handsome.
I think
I think
with
I passed the
with
test.
Green Bay,
I thought you did.
because
All right.
A-Rod's still agile, he can get away from some of that
Yeah.
pressure. You know what I'm saying? If he was older like a Tom Brady, then we got to work on that offensive line. But since he's still in his prime and he's agile enough, he can help out the offensive line. MJD said go get a receiver. I said give him a running back. You know what I'm saying?
I
Jordan,
like James Starks.
Randall Cobb. Starks is good. He's a good 3. It's official. He's a 3. And it's official Cobb is a 2. And it's official White Chocolate, a.k.a. Jordan Nelson, is a 1, regardless of where you want to stay. Then you got these young guys who play in the playoff with Janice and them guys. They got experience, so you might have 4 or 5 depth chart when you want to talk about that receiver position. But right now, man, I think just handing the ball off, you just don't know what you're going to get in Lacey. Starks has probably been.
You kind of do have to turn the page on Lacey.
Really.
Maybe he shows up in
'cause-
that with new
'cause
shape and everything.
Really,
but
the last 3-4 games, he's been balling.
yeah,
We talked about him the whole season, but the fourth quarter of this season, like the last 4 games up until the postseason, he's been handling his business, and you got to get a man props.
well, one of our esteemed colleagues, who I don't know if he wants me to say this publicly, so I won't name check him, but he said he might be the first running back in NFL history to get lap band surgery.
Yeah.
He was which is a funny joke. I think you were there for that one, Ike.
That's not funny.
I thought it made me laugh.
Shaq, you
All right,
crazy.
I was looking forward to this Panthers and Seahawks game on Sunday morning, but it was over at halftime, except that it wasn't, because then the Seahawks rallied in that one. What's your takeaway in that game there, Ike?
I mean, they started off quick. You can't start off no perfect than that. 31 points in the first half. You know what I'm saying? You get 31 points in the first half. That's hard to come. But at the end of the day, man, we always say, man, it's 60 minutes. So, you know, the Panthers did everything they needed to do in that first half. They came out with the W, but again, it's a 4-quarter game, and they almost let it go. They
did hold on.
They did hold on, but Shaq, they almost let it go. You had 0 touchdowns in the second half. You didn't have a field goal in the second half.
But isn't it weird? I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate. Isn't it weird if you're out on the field and you're up 31 points? Like, I wouldn't know what approach to take at that point.
This is what you do. This is what you need to take a page out of Tom Brady, the Brady Bunch, because they up 31. They trying to get to 60.
Yeah, that's true.
They trying to get to 60 because we know by any given moment, man, y'all might can slide.
I know, but I grew up watching a team that just grinds you in the second half on the ground. Spin the clock, run out the clock.
They same league anymore. Your Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to put up 70 on people.
Yeah, this ain't it no more. Tom and company, if they had 31 that first half, Belichick go in there and be like, man, let's drown them, take them to the deep end, put some cement shoes on them, make sure they don't get up no more.
Maurice, how true is it? My hypothesis going into this one was that you always hear about the Seahawks. The week after you play the Seahawks, boy, those teams don't play well because the Seattle's so physical on you and your body ain't right the following week. Did the Seahawks, were they victimized by the same thing? They played in -15 against a physical Minnesota team, then had to go home. Then they fly back across to North Carolina and play another physical team. I was not surprised. Well, I was surprised it was 31-0 at that point, but I still wasn't surprised that they got pushed around a little bit early.
To be honest, I really don't think that was the issue. If you really watch that game, there's a lot of missed tackles, guys. I mean, the first play of the game, Earl Thomas has a chance to go out there and get a tackle, 5-yard game. He slips, the guy goes 60. You see here Russell Wilson holding the ball. I mean, there's a lot of plays where if you're watching, they were just prepared. I mean, Russell Wilson's holding the ball or he's getting hit. Guys are just getting whooped at the point of contact. It wasn't an effort issue or anything like that. You know, you had some field issues going on. You had a lot of things going on that weren't able to overcome. You know, obviously when you throw a pick six with the first, second play of the game for your on offense,
your chances of winning are low. You know what I'm saying? It's two things in football. Either you're gonna give it or receive it. They receive.
There's a thing called free hurt.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants it, so people get that away. They took a lot of that in the first half.
Yeah, they received a lot in that first half, and they just had the recipe which we thought Seattle had. You know, like what's the recipe? We're gonna smack you in the mouth on defense. We're gonna run this. We're gonna run beast mode, and he's gonna run you into the ground. Nah, the Panthers was like, you know what? Grandma gave us that recipe. So this is what we're going to do to Seattle. We're going to smack you on defense, and we're going to ground the ball with Stewart and Cam and Colbert on offense, and that's exactly what they did.
That's why I'd be sick, as a side note, if I were a Titans fan or to a slightly lesser degree a Dolphins fan, because
lesser degree.
given the model that the Seahawks have provided and the Panthers followed to a T, shouldn't that have been what the Titans did? You hire Mike Mularkey to work with Marcus Mariota. Instead, why don't you bring in Austin from Detroit, or a good defensive coordinator, build a rugged defense, and then just have your QB make a couple special plays. That's how Wilson and company have went to 2 straight Super Bowls.
You already got your defensive guys. You got Dickey over there, and you got Ray Horton. So you got your defense.
Ray Horton's going.
Yeah, he might slide through, but it's not official. But speculation, he probably will slide through. At the same time, you still got Dickey over there, just kind of holding it down. You don't even know if he's gonna stay because he loved coaching with Ray Horton, so he might be gone too. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, man, Coach Mularkey, I remember Coach when he was a tight end coach in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? And I know what he used to say to him. I know the Bruners and the Tumans. Like, I got the stories. I can't give them what I got.
I don't understand. Why can't you share with them?
Share us one.
Nah, some things are just, you gotta be in the locker room. You got to be in the building to understand that.
Oh, speaking of that, we've got a very special segment coming up for you called Pigtails. Ike Taylor and others tell us stories, and we're going to share. We're not going to do that today, though, Gothard, Ty, behind the glass there?
Not today, no.
All right, we got that coming up for you later in the week. It's
but
very special
Coach Mularkey,
story.
man, there's another opportunity he's getting. I can't say, but what is his record as a head coach?
It's not good. I think his thing, though, he's going to build tough. They're going to be tough. That's what they're going to be. And they're going to run the ball at you, which the young quarterback needs. And obviously with him being able to run, they're going to use that as well. But He's a downhill run. He wants to bring back old Pittsburgh. He wants to make the Tennessee Titans of Pittsburgh of when he played. I want to say in the '80s when it was just
I hope so.
physical
I hope
toughness.
so.
That's an interesting division to circle in 2016 because the Colts are going to bounce back.
Are
Your
they?
Jags. Well, I mean, how bad could they be? I mean, they got to, right?
I mean,
well, I guess
There's
I'm
a
maybe
reason.
assuming.
There's a
With
reason they
his-
were bad this year.
Yeah, true.
This is his third chance at having the head coaching job. I hope he gets it. You know what I mean? Honestly, I hope Coach Mularkey gets it. You know what I'm saying? This your third opportunity. Like, either you're going to put your pride away and you say to yourself, I figured it out, I got it, or you're going to be stubborn and be like, hey, man, it's my way or the highway.
You're going to go down with that ship, man. When that ship sinking, you going to jump on that lifeboat or you going to be
It's
like,
gonna
this is
sink
my
too.
ship?
I say this. Well, first of all, let's get to the Seattle Seahawks roster now. Let's get to the roster doctor named Handsome
Yeah.
Hank. What's the fix?
I think Marshawn's going. Is Kristen Michael the answer there?
First round pick.
You think
I'm not
Marshawn
gonna go
Lynch is
first round
definitely
pick.
gone?
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch is definitely
Yeah,
gone.
he's
from
I
Seattle.
I think
He's done.
he's. I don't know if he's done because
Yeah, I don't.
I don't think the way
because-
I know the way the season petered out on him. I don't.
It's,
think
it's
he
not, I
went
don't think
away.
it's.
I don't think
just-
he's done in Seattle. I mean, he may have another.
I don't
spot
think he's
somewhere.
done in Seattle. A lot of people say he's done. I don't think he's done because who's going to replace that? Everyone says, "Oh, Russell had this big, miraculous, great year," but he really didn't. To be honest with you, I
He
mean,
had a stretch of games.
He
Yeah,
had a
he had
stretch of
six,
games.
6, 7.
that ain't a year though. That's a stretch
So
of
I
games.
look at it like this, man. You need a 1-2 punch. You got Rawls
Mm-hmm.
and you got Beast Mode in the backfield. You know, Rawls ain't nothing but a baby Beast Mode.
Right.
And once he get in the rhythm and understand what it takes to be a professional, he gonna get it. But why not take all the juice out of Beast Mode tank? Like if I'm the Seattle, I need all that juice. I need all of it. How much you got left? You got a quarter of a tank left? Give it to me.
But you got to
Because I
pay him
need
a
it.
lot to do it.
But
If
you-
he's
I-
now your backup running back,
Who's your best player on offense
Russell Wilson
No way. Are you
on the
kidding me?
Seahawks offense.
on the Seahawks offense?
They don't
Who's
even
your best
people
player?
when Marshawn's in the game, they don't even care about
Marshawn
Russell.
Lynch
As-
is definitely
as
better.
as a
But
defense,
now I'm talking about now. Yesterday,
as a
he didn't show
defensive
up.
as
Who
a
do they- who do
defensive
they-
coordinator, your first guy is stop Beast Mode.
Did you see those
It
runs?
was.
Did you see
That was
Did you
your
see those
first thing.
runs? If we go back and can we show
he
the highlights
wasn't
again?
right, and he wasn't even right.
He
on
didn't. He didn't get
Sunday.
a
Yeah, he
chance
wasn't-
to run because they had no one. If I'm,
They're
this is
down
me.
31.
You're down. You're
down
down
31
31 early.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if it's me, and we can look at these highlights again, because every time he touches the ball in the backfield, he got hit. As soon as he touches the ball, it might have been 2 or 3 plays where he didn't get hit right in the backfield. So look, he's making a cut in the backfield. Like
Right.
you can't expect no one to run that way. I don't care who it is. Again, in the backfield, the guys. You have to go offensive line, and you can't.
Go center.
Don't give me a defensive lineman to play offensive line. Don't give me a tight
Offensive
end
lineman
to play offensive line. Don't give me that. I need an offensive lineman to play offensive lineman because they know they have a mentality. You can try to teach that, but that you can't do that. And I think Tom Cable and the Seahawks, that experiment of taking athletic defensive linemen that aren't going to make them turn into offensive linemen,
It's over.
it's over.
I'll tell
it
you
didn't work
this.
out.
As a side note, I feel like this Panthers team really benefited from the week off. I mean, in terms of national perception of them, because remember, everybody was there was a nice story, and Cam with the dabbing, and Josh Norman, there's this great story, and the defense. But that whole bat and stuff with Odell Beckham and everything, that soured a big chunk of America. And they were already down on Cam doing his dab and dancing. They don't like that for a reason that we
Really?
haven't exactly figured
See
out
this?
yet.
I was at Dave and Buster's yesterday, right? And my son and his homeboy, they got to play. They got to play. They going. So I'm just sitting. I'm sitting watching some of the games, and you know, a few people behind me. There was Seattle fans, and there was like, see, Cam need to stop all that. Why he just can't be mature? And I turned around. And I said, man, what happens when, you know, A-Rod scores a touchdown and he discount double check everybody? I say, well, is that a problem? Is that an issue?
How about when Tom Brady gets the ball and
And spikes
spikes it at the
Spike
feet
ball.
of the defender?
I said, man, is that an issue? But now since Cam got the whole world dabbing, and he's smiling, and he's handing the ball
Handing the
off,
ball to kids.
man, like picture what he's doing to that organization. Picture how the tickets just in the end zone, how the ticket price go up because he know and,
Well-
and picture. Okay, forget a vacation. As a parent, forget a vacation. If I'm a Carolina Panther fan, I'm gonna pay whatever to get that ticket because I know Cam.
I got a chance. To
I
get
got
the
a
ball.
chance to get a ball from Cam, get it signed.
I know. And
And
Cam,
my
I
kid-
always
and
say
my
this.
kid
I'm a
was-
softie for anybody who goes to a children's hospital because I don't think I'd have in the gut what it takes. I think I'd just start crying and stuff, and I wouldn't do well. That wouldn't turn anybody's smile upside or frown upside down for me to go in and see them. I admire guys to do that. Russell Wilson's one of the guys that does that as well. The whole exchanging social media with Sierra, like, all right, nothing says true love than tweeting at your significant other. I think that's a little weird. As though you're having a correspondence, like, well, text her if you want to send her a message. What are you exchanging that? Well, SeaWorld, we are in love. I think that's a weird move.
Shaq, this is the generation we in now.
I guess,
You know
but
what
it
I'm
seems
saying? I see what you're saying.
not particularly intimate to be doing that.
He wants to know.
We don't know.
He
that.
wants us to know.
You know how women like to hear you say "I love you" from the top of the tallest building.
Tallest building.
That's
so
what
everybody
they want.
can hear.
That's why he does stuff like
That's
that.
embarrassing. Hey, that's embarrassing for me. I'm not
Speaking of
secure with
awkward
myself.
Twitter
Yeah.
conversations, Dameshek, you want to talk about your conversations with the Broncos?
Not especially. I don't understand. The Broncos have it in for me.
Look how God.
They said something else to you.
Did they
You're
light it
messing,
up again?
Gothard.
They did after the game. They didn't say anything.
What did they
before.
say?
Well, first of all, yeah, all right, show it there if you got the tweets here.
Of course they got it lined.
After the
He's
game,
right.
all the Broncos fans, as
Hey,
every
Gotham
fan base, 31 fan bases are certain that I hate their team. Oh, you're such a hater. Oh, you're so bitter. Look at this. So this is the one to the Bengals. The Bengals, a week after the Steelers beat them, a bunch of the Bengals players, not fans or anybody, go on Twitter and are celebrating. And Georgia Loca writes, and just like that, all is right in the world again, and a bunch of emojis there. So I took the time to tweet back at him. Your team hasn't won a playoff game this century, but all is right in the world. Please work on your ambition. And a lot of people agreed with me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I respect
Nothing wrong with that.
that.
That's shout out.
I
Uh-oh.
Now the Broncos won. They tweeted me and
No!
Bill Simmons. Accidentally, they have a picture of a baby walking
I thought
into
it was
a
your
room.
baby.
No. Oh, no, that would be outrageous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it's a baby walking into a room, a little video, and the video says, accidentally walking in on some Steelers and Patriots fans. This is at Broncos sending this to me and Bill Simmons. And I wrote back, I get the attempt at the joke, but the baby's walking in on the fans. Ergo, the joke doesn't make any sense. The baby's walking in on us. I'm not walking. You're trying to imply that I'm being a baby,
Right.
but the baby's walking into me, so your joke is about as good as a patent spiral, I wrote back.
Wow. And then what happened after that?
They
That was-
settled
that was
down.
a good
But then they liked somebody tweeting that Dameshek is butthurt. Butthurt. This is the Denver Broncos, the organization of Elway and Alzado
No,
and
it's
Terrell
somebody-
Davis.
It's
and they're
somebody else
tweeting-
doing it, but that's pretty
But
awesome.
Dameshek is butthurt. They're retweeting.
I told you, Shaq, if you want us to end it, we can end it,
We
man.
can end it.
It ain't nothing
Go
for
out to
it ain't-
Denver.
It ain't nothing for us to go out to Denver, man, for the championship
Take a
game
ride.
and just see who the deal
Maybe we'll
is.
take a ride after all. Real quick, before we talk AFC, the Panthers, here's the thing I was going to say. So then they knock off the Seahawks, and I think, right or wrong, Richard Sherman puts a certain amount of heat on them. And I think people like seeing the teams that have been riding high. They like seeing them
heat
get
on
knocked
who?
off. I think that they like seeing on the Seahawks. I think people
What'd he
like to
say?
see. No, I'm saying people like to root against Richard Sherman.
Oh,
He
yeah.
casts himself as a villain.
Right.
And in general, any successful team, there's going to be a segment of the population that wants to see him get knocked down.
right.
So the Panthers just did that, and the week away of playing got them out of the spotlight, and I think it rebooted the fact that we like this team and Cam Newton. So good for them, and now suddenly they seem to be the prohibitive favorite to beat these Cardinals. We'll see how that goes. The one thing I don't like that the Panthers do, and every team in history, or at least over the last 25 years does this, why does this work with you guys? This nonsense about no one outside this locker room believes in us. Clearly, people believe in the 15-1 number one seeded Panthers. How can a coach convince players no one believes in us?
Not
No,
Carolina.
No.
Oh,
That
it's
was-
crazy.
that was-
Of course,
Hey,
people
Shaq, there was
believe
some,
in them.
there was some
Shaq,
doubt.
now-
They had some doubt
There was
inside
some
the
doubt
locker
because
room.
they were playing the Seahawks, but the card of like no one believed in us.
Now
It's so silly. You're grown
number
people.
one
This is what
seed.
you believe, that no one thinks you can win?
Some
we
people
felt
don't.
like that in 2005.
We feel like that all the time.
In
But
2005, At
why?
the 6th seed, we felt like that at the 6th seed. Like,
But the 6th seed, you got an
Okay,
excuse.
that's
The number
a-
one
that's
seed,
a
you lost
story.
one game
But-
this year.
But
six-
remember,
the 6th seed, we
Shaq
went-
said it best, though. What did Shaq say? We've been waiting for them to lose. We knew they were going to do it. They couldn't go 16-0.
That's because it's hard to go 16-0. That's a different thing than saying that nobody believes that they're a good team.
Shaq, you just said it. Like, you don't believe they're a good team. You felt
I
someone
didn't
else is
say
better.
that. How dare you? And I don't
Okay.
understand this thing of that every team in every sport since at least 1990
Gotta find a
does that thing.
competitive
No
edge.
one outside this locker room believes in us.
A competitive edge.
Everybody else would have quit, but not this team.
Okay.
Like, what? What are you talking
So
about?
where did you have the Carolina Panthers after Calvin Benjamin got hurt? Where'd you
All
have
right, like you and everybody else, I had them buried. But
All right,
by
We ain't
early
believing 'em. We
October,
ain't believing 'em.
Yeah, we ain't believing
We
them.
ain't believing
That's what we go back to. We find a way.
Oh, their season is over with. Calvin Benjamin got hurt.
Cam
It's
Newton
a
can't
wrap.
do
don't
it.
put that on me. What? That's
Cam
I have to
Newton
own that
can't do it.
alone. Everybody said that.
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying.
now you gonna throw everybody
Sound
under
like-
the bus?
hey,
Come on, Shaq.
let's go.
He
To,
drops
You dropping dimes.
let's
man.
go to Denver, Colorado right now, at least with our words, and talk about the Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning, the sheriff. I want to start with this,
sheriff.
and this will sound the sheriff. That's right.
Sheriff.
I don't want to.
So he
right
was
out of the
on
gate.
Andy Griffin show.
That's right. The first thing is this, Ike. Tell me about this. A lot of different places I can go in my head. First of all, it looked to me
you go-
like
you go to a
Roethlisberger
lot
was
of
not
places.
really was not too badly injured.
What you think?
I didn't think so. I only know
So that
one
deep ball?
person. I'm aware that throughout his career, Roethlisberger, there are people, there are cynics that are in that Pittsburgh circle, media members and otherwise, who say, yeah, he likes to John Wayne it. I can't go. All right, I'm going to give it a shot. He likes being the hero, the matinee idol who saves the day. But in this case, I mean, he really, from the jump, he didn't look limited at all, right?
Well, just from coming from Pittsburgh, they wanted to see where he was at. You know what I'm saying? Because to play Sunday in that game, I'm sure you needed some help from the doctors and just a lot of other sources to at least attempt. So that's why you come out, you try to throw it deep. Okay, let me see where you at with it, because then I can see where my
First
playbook
play.
at. I need to see where my playbook at. Okay, for the other side, we're going to throw it deep. Now it's letting you know where he at.
Mm-hmm.
So play with him if you want to. Hey, Coach Wade, we got some deep balls under the table. Mess around if you want to. Okay, hey, Ben, stop it. You feel good. Like, you've been feeling good.
Yeah, that
But-
first throw was amazing.
But it's cool. It was, but it wasn't. It was
It
deep
could have been
enough,
better.
but it wasn't accurate.
If he
Yeah.
threw it out to the sideline
Touchdown.
instead of
Yeah.
to the hash mark.
Touchdown.
But I do think, for the most part, that was one of the better postseason games I've seen Roethlisberger play. I know they only put
No.
13 up. I know you don't agree with that,
I really
but
don't.
he was on the money pretty much. He
No.
was on target, and he can be erratic. and he-
A deep ball, the first deep ball, that was inaccurate. A touchdown pass that was shorthanded.
underthrew it to Marcus Wheaton on that fourth
Yes.
down that they went for it.
Yes.
If he throws that
But
in
I
the
do
corner,
think
if
he-
he throws that in the corner of the end zone, dun, 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 dun,
Also,
dun,
though, it
dun.
was windy, and that's Jay
He
Feely.
was
I didn't
going
learn
with
that
the
just
wind.
from
I
Jay
can't do
Feely.
that.
Oh, Jay Feely.
That was a
Cracks
weird,
me up.
Jay Feely.
weird inclusion.
What's he
in the
doing?
proceedings. Jay, let's
He
get
knows
down to Jay
people.
Feely.
Wait,
What? Why?
It's windy.
What's Jay doing?
Okay, Jay.
Hey, handsome.
He's like
just
that.
react to that. I want to hear what Maurice has to say on this one. But tell me, just with our fan eye, that Peyton Manning nonsense when he went to the ground, when he tucked tail as he
Gave
does when he
himself
gets
up.
inside pressure. When a guy's coming at him, he ducks down to the ground. So it
He
happened
did
again
what you
on
did when
Sunday.
Akbar took that
He's-
sack from.
Yeah. Well, not
Except
with the butt up. Like,
Yeah.
remember how you
then
said
he jumped his whole body up, his
Right.
old bones, and that's gamesmanship.
it
He-
definitely is.
He
And
definitely knew what he was doing, and
I don't know,
supposedly told Emmanuel Sanders, if you see me go down, I'm going to pop back up
Oh.
and release to the sideline, and I'll find you.
No.
he's been going.
If he
into the
did that,
fetal
that changes
position.
it from a third-degree felony to a first-degree.
I don't believe that.
He's been going into the fetal position every
that's-
week, like
that's
2-3
him.
Yeah,
times.
that
a
they
week
should have
for-
blew the whistle down because
That's right,
the issue
Look at
now
that.
that I have,
These
the issue
players
now with
stop
that is
playing.
that people stop playing, and
Right.
two, if someone comes and hits him like they're going to now, it's going to be we got to protect the
15
quarterback.
yards.
15-yard penalty. See, you're putting defenders in a position where they can't be successful, and I think that's what the quarterback slide as well, because you have some guys like Alex Smith is a guy who likes to go head first. Well, I can't hit you because if you slide, I'm gonna get fined, and all this is gonna be a big thing, like what happened with the guy in Teddy Bridgewater when the guy hit Teddy because he didn't know what Teddy was gonna do. See me, if I was a defender, I'm gonna err on my side on aggressiveness.
That's
I'm
right.
Gonna, I'm gonna go head first at you.
I'm gonna take the fine.
I'm gonna take a chance.
And we did that. So the second time we played Tebow, I was just taking off. I didn't. You sliding, no sliding. I'm gonna get this 15. Coach gonna have to take me out the game. They're gonna have to take me out the game because one, you 250. So if you slide, oh, I don't want to slide. I want to run them over. Now I look like the little punk.
Yeah, can't look like that.
I'm not gonna look like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and
You
take
got
these 15.
you got people watching.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take these 15 because
You're someone's daddy.
Right.
I ain't gonna be like that. It would happen.
What happened?
I can't
Why
explain
did
that.
Tim
to him.
Tebow?
can't-
run
you
you
can't-
down?
Bad guy,
Why
that bad thrower, the
You can't
ball
whoop-
ran
You
over.
can't whoop your son or discipline your son if he's.
You better stop. I'm gonna call Tebow.
Yeah.
No,
You
that's
can't
not
have
gonna
that.
happen. That's not gonna
Now
happen.
you can't run
Yeah.
your household right.
Yeah, so I get
Say
it.
it's a
I
real
get it.
can of worms if
I
that
get it.
happens. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go it on and I'm gonna try to headshot him.
All right, but I gotta say, Broncos fans, I get it. You're happy your team survived. I sincerely can say this as a Steelers fan. I no excuses about who wasn't out there for Pittsburgh. I'm not gonna invoke that. As I always say, you know who else has injuries? Every other team. So all right, the Steelers were dealt a bad hand, but so were the Patriots, and so were a million, the 30 other teams in the NFL. As it was on Sunday, Pittsburgh should have won that game. Tomlin made some questionable calls. I kind of was okay with what he did. With it seemed like it was conservative to not kick the field goal in that spot in the second half, Handsome. But I kind of didn't like the idea of giving the ball potentially to Denver at about their 40. I like
Well,
the
Jay Feedy cleared that up for us as well.
Yes, he
It was the wind.
It was windy.
Yeah.
I just think when people like get all upset about Tomlin, that's how he's coached
The
since
whole
he's
year.
been there.
Right.
Yeah.
Since he's been there, he's been like that. I mean, going for 2 and
I like him
being
when he's
aggressive.
aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm cool
and
with
so,
being
and
aggressive.
in that situation, he was like, "Look, I can be aggressive and try to kick this field goal, knowing that there's probably more of a 80% chance we don't make it. Then I'd rather punt it." And I thought that was a great decision. Obviously, the punter put it in the end zone, but still, you're going to allow your defense, who's been playing dynamic the whole game, playing lights out. I mean, the first, I want to say, Denver, how many times went down to the red zone, had to hold for field goals? I mean, your defense was playing lights out. You just didn't, that turnover, and I know we don't like to put it on one person, but the running back fumbling, Toussaint fumbling, it just didn't give him
agree.
enough time to rest on the sideline. And so now you have a defense that's not fully rested to come back out there and play.
I feel bad for him, though. A guy who 3 weeks ago wasn't dressing for games suddenly now is playing in the divisional
Football.
round in Denver. I hear
Well,
it, but
That's why he
I
went.
felt bad for him. And the thing to me is, all fumbles are not created equal, and that was a great play by Roby. Roby got it. I mean, maybe there was an element of luck that he hit right on the ball, but he intended to punch at that ball there.
Ball was out there a
You
little
wait
bit.
for your opportunity to get in the game.
Ooh,
And
he punched that thing.
He got his opportunity. My thing is before the fumble, you had opportunities to score, and you can't kick threes
Right.
in the postseason. You need sevens.
Because the Steelers' offense was able to move between the 20s. They were it was every
In
every
a-
drive. It
to
was
a
like they were
weird
just down there in
degree.
3 plays.
Wasn't it weird visually how free, if they got past the first wave of defenders, the
Right.
Pittsburgh receivers, Martavis Bryant stands out particularly, that if he cleared 10 yards, he ran for another
Ran for
40
another
yards.
40, right.
Where are the Broncos defenders? It was weird how deep those guys were playing.
That's what you do. We talked
I guess, but
Well,
I mean,
well,
it
about
was,
that
it was
before?
striking
Yeah,
to watch
we-
those guys
Nah,
running so free.
Nah, it wasn't even that. Y'all not gonna beat us deep. You throw the pass, my guy missed a couple of tackles, then cool. Hats off to y'all. I'm gonna go out and coach these defenders on the sideline, make sure they tackle. But we ain't about to give up no deep plays, and that was their game plan. That was Coach Wade's game plan, man. It was a bend don't break, which will be soft kind of defense, but you gotta score points in the red zone. So, and they're good in the red zone, Denver. They're real good in the red zone. So when you know that stat as a defender, yeah, we give up some big plays, we give up some yards, but man, this team just kicking threes. You're going to live with it.
I know Ike and Maurice where they're going to come down on this. This sounds crazy since the Broncos won the game. I still say that Osweiler should have been the starter in that game, Handsome. And I know that you can look at who won these games. Anybody who hadn't started a postseason game lost so far and has lost in the postseason this year. But to me, I mean, let's just look practically speaking, I don't understand exactly why Peyton Manning deserves to be genuflected to more than anyone else in the NFL, more than any player that I can remember.
You
The
call
way
him
they
Kobe.
no, I mean it's
He's
Hey.
Kobe Bryant.
fine,
It's his
but it's
last ride.
crazy how
Shaq,
much.
you gotta-
Peyton plays chess. Who cares? It's a football game, not
Shaq.
chess. Who cares about your chess game?
You at some point in time, man, you got to pay homage.
I do.
No,
I
listen,
think
listen,
he's
listen.
terrific.
So CJ
Not anymore. I don't think he's terrific. but he
CJ
was.
Anderson, over the middle, angle route was wide open. He probably still be running.
Yeah.
Drop. Demarius on the sideline.
Drop.
First down.
But those aren't drops.
No. They were drops.
No.
Because they hit their hands.
They hit their
Wide-
hands, but also.
Wide open.
He threw some
But
ducks,
But Jim
those guys
Nance,
were-
Jim Nance, and everybody else, he's throwing a duck
You know,
in bad wind. That ball's got to
so
be. That ball's got to be impossible
So
to
you
track.
talking about Jim Nance like you ain't watching the game. So all of a sudden Jim
I-
Nance is just he's just a he.
I did see the ball moving on those guys. It was hard to track
But
for
you
them.
need him to clarify what you're thinking. Like, yeah, he
I
been throwing ducks all year.
His whole
But
career.
one thing he didn't throw was interception.
Well, there's that, but then aside from that, he was making calls at the line of scrimmage. He was changing plays. I don't know if Brock Osweiler's
he
experienced
changed-
enough.
I think the
to-
key to what you just said, though, Hank, it's not about the experience. He was changing to run plays.
Right. He
See,
was
the old Peyton Manning's going
right,
to change
would
to a
never
pass
do
play.
that.
Yeah, he would
As
never.
Ike
to
And
run
he
plays.
grew. He
Ike
grew.
predicted 2 weeks ago that Peyton Manning learned a lesson from his time on the bench, and in fact, after the game said, hey, I'm just along for the ride. This
Right.
is the defense. This is about that. You never hear that from Peyton. You never hear that kind of stuff from Peyton. He knows it now. Ike called that one. Ike called another shot. He's made a lot of great predictions, and to round out the Pittsburgh Steelers, you said in August, Ike, that defense is going to be a virtue for the Steelers by season's end, and so it was. I mean, Shazier,
Yeah, they
Timmons,
came around that day.
Jarvis Jones, Stephon Tuitt. They're now going to get Senquez Golson
back.
in the offseason. Willie Gay, I think. Yeah,
They're
Nah,
going
Will-
to draft. They're going to draft.
They got to
the
sign
DB.
Willie Gay back.
Yeah, they do have to sign him back.
You got to sign Boykin, Willie Gay.
Got to keep Boykin, I think.
You got and Antoine Blake. It's three guys you might got to sign back. Will Gay got to be #1 priority.
They're going to draft a DB as well.
Yeah.
That's
they'll
Daniel
draft
Jeremiah.
I think a tight
First
end
round.
makes sense too. 'cause
Tight end would
that-
be good.
Heath
No,
is getting-
No, just Jesse James.
Jesse
is
yeah,
James.
that's
killing.
true.
Legit.
Okay, that I
And
stand
you have
corrected.
the other kid. Who's the other guy there too? He was there last year.
Spade.
Spade.
Space.
He's
Yeah,
getting old too. He might.
But they
retire.
use Spade for running anyway.
Yeah. So that's your call there, Handsome.
That's
Did
my
you
call.
give an
They
official
ne-
one on the Seahawks, by the way?
I did.
Oh, you did.
They didn't like. I said running back. They didn't
Yeah,
like
you
it.
can't
These guys
go
didn't like
running back, man.
Well, if
Well,
the
hey,
GM, you can
Daniel
re-sign
Jeremiah.
somebody.
If Daniel Jeremiah said
You don't
it,
have to
then
just
that's right.
draft them. You can re-sign
Right.
guys if that's your priority. You can replace an assistant coach if you feel. That's something else for Pittsburgh that it does appear, at least, that they're going to retain Todd Haley, Keith Butler, who I think, and again, all respect to the great Dick LeBeau, one of the great innovators defensively in my lifetime. But Keith Butler really changed that defense, and I think it was for the overall good of Pittsburgh. I'm not glad that the way it went down with Dick LeBeau, but I think Keith Butler actually modified his defense week after week. You didn't know what you were going to get from that defense, and I thought that was a good thing. But anyway, the big shout-out is to Mike Munchak. They lose Kelvin Beachum and Marquise Pouncey, and that offensive line was still a virtue for them throughout
Yes.
the year with Villanueva jumping
Yes.
in there. And another thing is Marcus
Cody
Gilbert.
Wilde.
I don't know about offensive line play, but I know
He had a hell of a year.
that he graded, and he was considered
No, he had
the
a hell of
worst
a-
right tackle a year or two ago.
But this year he had a hell of a year.
Right.
Because the first 2 years, like you said, he was looking over his shoulder like anybody coming behind me.
I need help. Help!
All right, let's round it out with the game that probably, I don't know. I listen, the Patriots and Chiefs.
The Chiefs had a chance.
They did,
They
but
did.
Maurice,
They
the
had
thing
a
with
chance.
listen, call me a bitter pill. I don't think, maybe the ratings will prove me wrong. I don't think America, football fans, casual fans are going to tune in to watch Brady and Peyton because they've heard that and they don't know very many other things in football. So they'll tune in to be a part of the conversation nationally. But I don't think football. I mean, enough. I'm just not excited for Peyton and Brady, and it's not because of the Steelers lost. It's just like, all right, with this, with these two teams.
It's
I-
because
Well,
the Steelers lost.
We did a segment. So we did a segment on if the win benefits who the most. He said Peyton Manning, I said Tom Brady.
I think Peyton wants it more.
He think Peyton wants some more
I
because
agree.
this could be his last.
That's it.
I agree. Well, continuing that legacy conversation, first of all, had Roethlisberger won this Super Bowl, he is top 3 quarterback of the Super Bowl era. 3 rings, 4 Super Bowl appearances in 12 years.
Who's
Debate
better?
it all you
Who's
want.
better?
You can't beat that.
Who's better?
Who would be better, Brady and Montana. But I would say that if Peyton wins this, suddenly he's in that top 3. If Peyton has 2 rings
Yeah.
and he beats Brady head-to-head in title games, if he beats Brady 3 out of 4 in head-to-head games, handsome, right?
No.
I don't.
because he ain't Brady. He ain't
Peyton
Manning.
always had all those pieces around him. Brady's done it in different ways with different looking teams, but never with outside of Randy Moss, and they didn't win a Super Bowl with him.
There you go.
Never with those big name players. No
How?
Marvin
Okay,
Harrisons,
let's
no Reggie
jump.
Waynes,
Let's jump to
no
the
Eddie
end of the novel.
Jameses.
Maurice, you say that the Chiefs had a chance, and so they did. Certainly, Andy Reid's clock management inexplicable.
That wasn't the issue.
I know, but that was weird. They should have been down a touchdown with
They shouldn't even
2:15
have been
left
down
in
a
the
touchdown
game.
because remember we talked about it on the show. I was like, if they don't turn the ball over,
Yeah,
they're fine. And they were doing a great job. And then Niall Davis kind of catch that
Another
option
fumble,
route,
right?
the fumble, and that ruined it. Because now you go down 2, and like I said, you can't go down 2. You were, it was a 7, it was 6-14.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you go in there, you score, it's 13-14. Now your defense can do a little bit more. Turnovers ruin everything in the playoffs.
You know what? You think about, I mean, obviously this is true, and it seems like, obviously, but really, Jeremy Hill's fumble, Fitz Toussaint's fumble.
Right.
Russell Wilson's pick 6.
I mean, those changed, those decided the games. But like Ike said, though, you got to get also the other thing that might sound like rhetoric, but is also fact is, when the Patriots went right down the field and scored, you're like, it's going to be one of these. But then the Chiefs put together, 15-play, 17-play drive, but they only finished with 3. That was, I thought, the Chiefs, this is going to be a game here, except that then they only scratched out 3 of that
That's what
one.
I'm saying, man. You need 7 for 7. Tom, like, man, if I got 9 possessions, 7 of them 9 gonna be touchdowns. What y'all doing over there? Are y'all kicking threes? Oh, we gonna win.
Yeah, it feels like when you're watching, even, I say I have no stake in that game, but I am kind of rooting for the Patriots to lose to some degree. I find them, Patriots fans will laugh, I find them semi-boring. What are we rooting for? It's the free agency era, and you're rooting for Tom Brady and for Bill Belichick. But you're not rooting for the team because what are they? What style are they? If we go through, what are the Seahawks? We can tell me what the Seahawks are.
The Seahawks are aggressive and tough and all that. But you know what the Patriots are? What they've become is just winning.
Efficient.
That's their.
I know, but
efficient
efficient isn't exciting. It's
not like
admirable, but it's not fun to
What
watch.
Tom Brady has done is he's mastered the long handoff, the quick short passes.
Yeah, right.
To receivers who can make a guy miss and get 5, 10. But see, I want you to answer this question: how many times have you heard a defensive coordinator say, "We'll give him this," because we know that they're trying to set it up for that, right? Tom, you can't do that with Tom Brady because you keep giving it to him, he's gonna keep taking it.
That's right.
He's surgical.
He will pick you apart. Slow death is what Brady will deliver, right?
And for a defensive guy, give me that fast. If you're gonna give it to me fast.
Yep.
But man, you're gonna really shed my skin slowly. So you're gonna get me with a butter knife?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna
Third
get me
and
with
sevens, 3rd and 9s. That's got to be the worst thing.
Yeah,
for
you ain't
your
gonna get me with a sharp blade. You just gonna butter knife me my whole body? That hurts. That hurts. And you gonna look me in my eye and just grit your teeth and do it? That hurts. But that's the offense.
And the crazy part about it is you can play 2-man against him because he's not gonna run. When he does run, it's only in the red zone. That's the only time he's gonna run. And people still can't stop him.
Why can people not have? Why has no one in the NFL worked out? If it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, 3rd and goal, like at the 1-yard line, Tom Brady's going to dive over the top with the ball. No one's. It's coming. You can.
He's good at doing it. He has the ball over the line as he goes up and then pulls it back.
But the issue is
touchdown.
The issue is because he can do that, and then they'll run the stretch play on you at the same time, and then everyone's out the gate. Now they're gonna. So he's put you in a bind. I remember vividly hearing our defensive coordinator Mel Tucker say, because that's when they first started that hurry up offense real quick. They called it NASCAR or whatever, and it'd be like 3rd and 1, and people would all try to go for the quarterback sneak, and then he'd hand it off, and the guy score a touchdown off the edge because there's no edge. So our corner was like, oh no, you can take that quarterback sneak all you want to. We're not gonna let you give up
But at the goal line, it doesn't matter. Just stop it.
Couple things real quick. First of all, go ahead, roster doctor. What's the fix for the Chiefs in the offseason?
I think a lot of their best defensive players are free agents.
You got to sign him.
I think they got to sign
They
back.
kept
I think Tamba Hali is a free agent.
Barry.
I think they're gonna. I bet you they'll let Hali go.
Yeah.
D Ford and
Barry's
Justin
Barry they'll bring back. They got to bring Barry back. He's a hero there.
Boy, I like that team. I think you get.
You
Yep,
need a
I think you
receiver.
need.
You
I
need
think
a
you need
receiver.
another weapon. I think you need one more weapon.
Because you got your running backs
Yeah.
all day.
the other thing is
Backs.
the other thing is too that offensive line got better as the season
did.
went along, but I might beef up there too.
Yeah.
I might want to.
I like the O-line.
I like it too. It
It's
got
fine.
better.
Just rugged.
Yep, it's fine. They need a receiver. Maybe get Dwayne Bowe back.
All right, let's go. We'll make our picks later in the week, Hanson, but
Okay.
let's get them from these guys. So you guys talked about it. NFL Now. Make sure you tune in 7 days a week. Maurice and Ike, as you hear here, delightful people, but insightful as well. They're Xing and O'ing it for you. They're telling you what you need to know from this way, that way, and every way. But Maurice, Brady, Peyton, choose.
Oh, Brady.
Yeah, they're gonna whip them,
It's
right?
not gonna be close.
Brady Bunch.
I don't know how big, but what do you think they beat them by?
He got his boys back.
That's right.
That's an issue. And my cousin plays for the Broncos, and I want to see him in the Super Bowl. He's from the city.
Who,
He's-
Ward?
Yeah,
TJ
Ward's
Ward?
from San Francisco. It'd be nice to see him.
Nice guy.
He'd be he's a tough kid, tough guy. Grew up rough. We trained him the right way.
He has a funny body type. I met him once on a show we did over here, and he is. I mean, he looks like he's not a big guy, but he looks like you wouldn't want him to run into you.
Yeah,
He's super thick little guy.
He's a tough guy. I mean, we grew up the right way, so it'd be good to see him come back home and play the Super Bowl. But I just don't think they have I don't think Roby and those guys can cover.
They went to overtime. The Patriots lost in Denver, 6-8 weeks ago, and the Patriots didn't have Edelman. Gronk got hurt in that game. The punt returner, who they've since kicked to the curb, fumbled one in the second half for the Patriots, and they still needed overtime, did the Broncos, to win the game. Now, it was Osweiler. I mean, if it's windy again, Peyton looked terrible on Sunday, I thought. It was so fine. He put the one drive together. But, I think
The
he
one thing they do got going for him, Tom Brady, last two games, he lost in Denver.
Mhm.
In Denver.
That's right. He
Never
won
won
in 5
never won a
or
playoff
something
game
over
in
there?
Denver.
Yeah.
That's right. I
In
remember
Denver.
Champ Bailey picking him off with the
Yep.
Broncos and running it 99 yards.
Yep.
So-
Ben Watson, remember running
Yep.
all the way down
Yeah,
and
yeah.
almost got the ball, almost was a touchback.
That lets
Yeah,
you
I
know how
remember that.
fast Ben Watson was. He
Yeah,
caught
that's
Champ.
right. From the other side too.
He caught Champ.
from the far side.
Champ ain't no joke.
Yeah, indeed. But so you're both taking the
Brady bunch.
Bradys in the AFC game. Who's going to be awaiting them in Santa Clara? Ike.
We both said Carolina.
I agree with
I've been trying to fight Carolina for the longest.
You can't fight anymore, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fight them.
It's
So if that's the question, I agree with you on both those picks. Can Carolina? We'll talk about that when we have time. But can Carolina play with Brady and company?
I think so.
oh yeah.
I
do.
think the matchups.
Because you got to remember, Gronk is a matchup, but number 2 best matchup, Greg Olsen.
Well,
And
the
I mean,
Gronk. You talk about Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly. That's a good
Those are
place
guys
to
that-
start.
I think
They're
one guy,
front four.
I think there's one type of person that can cover him, and Carolina has those type guys,
Right.
fast safeties that play linebacker.
Yep.
So now you can put those guys.
It's
on.
not even the physical matchup. It's the IQ. Luke, did you see Luke play on the sideline? He got mad at
Cortland Finnegan.
Yeah.
He got mad at Cortland Finnegan for not being in the right spot. I saved your butt. That's your play to make. Matter of
And he
fact,
told him to
that's
get
your
out.
interception.
Then he said,
You
"You know
know
what?
what?
Get off the field."
Hey, DC, get him off the field because that wasted energy out of me. I could have been covering somebody else, but since my IQ was so high and I knew this 7 cut was coming on the sideline, I made a play.
There are a lot of things in the NFL I couldn't do, but one thing that I wouldn't have the stomach to try is to tell Cortland Finnegan to do something or yell at Cortland. He
Are
would
you
scare
kidding
me.
me?
He seems scary to me. He would
What?
yell back at me, and he would
Shaq,
get in my face. And
You
then I
gotta
don't like
stop.
it.
Shaq, hey,
He's so.
when,
Hey, what?
When adverse situations comes, you find out who people really are,
Yeah.
Right.
and we find out a lot about. Shaq.
I find out a lot about you, and you people are pals. I'm just not one
Who's
for
you
physical.
people?
I'm not for
You
physical.
people.
I'm
Who's
just
your
not
people?
the you people in this room.
Right.
What do you think? I'm
You're
referring to
sweating
you?
again now. You
Yeah,
got
look, he's
you got a
nervous.
little
Stop.
sweaty
Nervous,
again.
He's nervous. He's
Getting
dewy.
You're getting dewy.
Guys are all jerks now. I take back anything I said. All right, now it's time. I don't even know who the pro football players are going to be asking it, but it's time for maybe my favorite segment we've got going. It's Dear Ikey time. Hi, Hi, and welcome to another edition of Dear Ikey. I'm joined today by Handsome Hank, Maurice Jones-Drew, and of course our star, Dear Ikey himself, Ike Taylor. We're not just talking about the game of football, we're talking about the game called life, and we have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead with your question for Dear Ikey and Maurice.
Dear Ikey, what's a good gift to give your girl, but she's not your girl?
Oh, Keenan Allen of the San Diego Chargers.
That's a good one.
That's a tough question, but Ike's a married man. He doesn't know about those things. Speculate, I suppose.
No, I ain't speculating. Gotta keep it 100. What you told Rich Eisen?
You got to keep it 100.
Man, get a cool little bracelet.
Cool
a
bracelet.
cool little
Why? Why bracelet?
If you get her a ring, you're telling her a story.
I see.
You get her some earrings. Everybody got her some earrings. You get her a purse, man. She gonna get a purse from every player.
Right.
A purse?
Purses and shoes. Like, women love purses and shoes.
You know what? I thought that was my move. I've gotten shoes for more than one woman.
Everybody.
Yeah,
does.
everybody do that.
I think that's such a great move. A pair of
Everybody do
shoes. What? Do you guys all? Everybody,
everybody
does
do
that?
that.
Everybody does that.
You
That's-
see, when I said
Bracelets-
when I said
bracelets
bracelet, he
rare.
said, what?
See, I was there when
You-
that was filmed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you gotta,
And I
gotta
told
get
him
the
he
cool-
should give her a coupon to Jay, to like Kay or Jared or something. Like, so you like pretty much you paying for it, but you letting her pick out what she wants.
A coupon?
You
Yeah.
give
Give her a
cool-
gift card or
give her a
something.
cool bracelet, cause the bracelet in my mind is disposable. Like, okay, you got mad at me, you ain't like the bracelet, Psh, cool. But at the same time, here was the gift because you're the one, but you're not the one. But you're on deck, but you ain't bat yet.
See, that's why you give them a gift card. See, I'm gonna tell you why you do that. Because when you give them a gift card, you're kind of like, here's the gift card, get what you want, but it really ain't from me.
It's less personal, willfully so. I
Willfully
get that.
less
See what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
here you go. I like you a lot, but just in case,
You choose.
you choose what you want because I really don't
See,
know.
I thought you
I'ma
might say a
do-
burner phone.
I'm gonna
That's
do
what
the
you-
A
bracelet.
give-
burner? Give him the burner?
I'm gonna do the bracelet because it's different.
This is how we
Yeah.
shall communicate going forward. This is just.
Listen, only
Destroy the phone.
The bracelet is the It's the reaction towards guys, like a bracelet.
Handsome, do you have any
I like
thoughts
that.
here?
I,
These are the
I,
experts.
I,
but-
I think those two are pretty. I mean, the bracelet I get because that's a rare gift, but I think the coupon, the voucher, is a good one.
Well, this might be uncomfortable. I want to throw one more at you real quick here, but Handsome, you have to fill in for Maurice because this one's about Maurice. Last week in NFL media, and you can look it up on YouTube, it was a lot of fun for the most part. You know, the LA Rams are announced now. They're coming back. They're going to be playing in Los Angeles going forward. And so our pal David Nickel had the idea, hey, let's bring a
Nickel,
Ram.
please.
Let's bring a Ram, a physical Ram, to be reintroduced to the city of LA, or at least to the NFL media, our colleagues. And I took the Ram around, and everybody petted him and had a nice time. Handsome Hank, in fact, shared a delightful story. Why don't you share it again?
I
real
can.
quick?
I mean, if you want to, it's a little embarrassing, but okay.
Did Akbar kiss around?
Akbar kissed the ram. He'd do anything.
Akbar would do anything for TV.
Right.
He sold his soul.
Yeah, he sold.
Yeah, he did. He does American Ninja Warrior. Okay, so
Warrior.
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 When I was a kid, I was once playing in a field in England, and a ram. I was running across a field, and a ram rammed me from behind.
That's what.
In a
They got
field
me.
in
Yeah, be
England?
careful.
You got to be careful. Those
Do Rams run free in America? I don't
Yes.
think you
Protect
could
yourself
get
at all
chased
times.
down
Yeah,
by
you
a
could be
ram.
in a field in
I don't know-
Idaho, and
I
there'd
don't
be
know
a
all
ram there.
animals because I don't know what they're thinking.
Oh, well, that's interesting because that
Thank
was my,
you. You know why?
Wow, that was my question.
Because that's what I told them. They
Yeah,
were
I don't
looking
know.
at me. I was like, "God,
Maurice,
he wants to take
Maurice was petrified of this
I
tiny
wasn't.
little beast.
I wasn't petrified, Shaq.
Well, you were pretty scared.
I wasn't petrified. I just knew
For
that.
one, everybody
he was
making
in a-
all that noise.
First of all, he was in a tight room like this. It was like 15 people following with cameras out,
Making noise.
and he was.
Hey, can you play that clip from
And he
5
was
minutes ago,
looking
Marie, when Marie said, like,
literally-
hey, when somebody gets in adversity, you find out who somebody
yeah,
like you.
I don't want to get hit
You
by a
have beast
ram.
adversity.
A ram, Shaq.
Yeah.
You Shaq's walking around talking to him. Then the ram nudged him a little bit. And then Shaq was
Did
like,
turn look at.
and then they was like, oh, he needs a 30-minute break.
Yeah.
So that means he was on the point to just letting off.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't want to be there when he let off. Because you know what? I believe in myself more than that. I'm smarter than that. I'm not
We
going
What do
went,
you think
in,
was
we
gonna
went
happen,
into the
though?
green room that has 2 doors, and
I went out the other one.
the Ram came in one door, and out Maurice went the
Yeah, I
other.
would do the same thing.
Hey, listen.
I don't know what he's thinking
It-
or she's
it-
thinking.
I no, it was a he because
It's
he had
definitely a he.
he had a he had something on behind him.
Elephant trunk.
No, that boy.
Ball.
man's testicles
Yeah,
was
two
about big as
baseballs.
my fist, and they was just saying. And I knew 'cause I'm an alpha male, and I know he think he an alpha male, so we gonna butt heads off rip.
I was told by the producer, hey, we can't do some stuff. Maurice, Ike, and I have done climbing the football mountain, and we'll get back to that this week again. It's a lot of fun to see who can reach the top of Mount Lombardi. But in doing that, we thought, well, we should have the Ram in there. But then I was informed, no, the Ram can't be there because Maurice doesn't want to be in the room with the Ram. And they said,
Ike, they close the door on stage 6, we done. Because he going to ram it all up. And you know the cameras in there mess up
what are you
sometimes.
going to do? You ran away from
gonna
human
ram it
beings
all
that
up.
were chasing you forever.
No disrespect, but I had the shank on me. You got to get it. We got to have Ram.
I didn't have nothing on. I had no shank. I had no bat.
Not
no
lamb.
nothing.
We got to have Ram.
I was in this thing
Hey,
unarmed.
Hey,
And they want, and I know how the cameras are in stage 6. They tend to glitch and make quick noises and move. If he would have saw that and just
Got
flipped out and started
paranoid?
kicking,
Why
He'd
would
I
he
don't
blame
why
you.
would he then
He'd blame
blame
you.
you?
He'd go
No,
after
he
you.
just started going after the first person. And obviously,
Right.
I told
You'd
him,
be close.
I said, if that was me, I'd be standing on top of Shaq. And then his homeboy, the dude, his little trainer guy, Scott, or whatever his name was, he was like, it's okay. Like, I'm like, no, bro, like, because you don't know him. Well, we've had him since a baby. I'm like, yeah, but he still has that animal instinct.
yeah, exactly.
And when he gets scared, he going to go crazy.
That's why you see people who've got like tame lions or bears
want
or
that. Keep
stuff,
me
and,
away.
and one day that lion
Did we
bites
not-
the
Somebody
guy's head
said
off.
something to me the other day, like, we were all mad that the tiger ate the magician.
Right.
Why
The
y'all
white
mad?
tiger.
Of course
Oh,
he's gonna do that.
what? That's horrible. He's a tiger. What do you mean it's horrible? That's what he does. He kills things.
He's-
I
Big
agree,
snake.
but a little ram doesn't equal
a little
big,
ram.
scary
a little,
tiger.
A little ram.
Power.
All right,
You-
but
do you watch National Geographic?
he don't
Animal
watch it.
Planet?
I see.
How they stand on their two, then they get close.
They do ram
yeah,
into
yeah.
each other.
Bow.
Hey,
That is crazy. Do you know that they do that for hours on end?
Yeah.
Hey, and
I
you
don't want that.
And
They
you
do
want
that
me
for
to be in the
3
room?
hours.
You want
They
me to
ram
be in the
into
room
each
with
other.
I don't
that
want
Shaq?
that.
There's no concussion protocol
I don't
for
want
that.
that.
They just back out there
And
the
Shaq
next
want me
week.
to be in the
Boom.
room with that.
Like the Bengals Steelers.
Right.
Game. Yeah, that's what the Rams do to each other. But the point is, so yes, the producer said we can't, Maurice won't be in the room with it.
I
And
would-
then I
I
said,
would-
well, our first order of business is I don't care what else
Y'all
happens the
play
rest of the
around
day.
if y'all want to.
Maurice now must be in the room with that Ram, and
We're gonna have
that's who
Ram
I
for
am.
dinner.
And
Not lamb. We're gonna have Ram for
And
dinner.
that's what I said. And I told him, I said, because you got Nate extra in there pinching me. He told me, come on, it's just a ram. I said, see, you'll do anything.
We don't do anything.
I can't do that because you're willing to take a bullet for this
I can't do this.
just so you can get some followers on Instagram. Nah, I'm cool. I don't want that. I'm
Nate
cool.
I wasn't the bad guy. Nate Burleson.
You were the bad guy.
All right,
You was
maybe
the
I was in
instigator.
part. Yeah, I am.
You always
That's why
do.
you say you want to know what I am. That's what
You did?
I don't want to be in the conflict. I like to pit other people.
Make the conflict.
I like
He
for
can
people
look
to
at it
have
now.
stuff. I just don't want to be one of the people involved in it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to just stand aside and laugh while it happens.
That's funny.
But Nate Burleson grabbed you. He held you in place. He didn't let you get away.
No, I got away. And I thought you left, and then I'm sitting down again, and it was like, I'm like, look, I ain't gonna run again.
All right, great fun as always with
Damn Ram.
Handsome Hank. Handsome is back for later in the week. We'll give you our red challenge flag picks for the 2 title games. I think it's pretty obvious which way I'm leaning already. But Maurice
Can I
and
get him a
Ike,
shout out to Handsome Hank?
yes.
Another one.
I called Handsome Hank earlier
Oh yeah.
last week so he can give me the NFL Now video because I
Do your impression of him. How did it sound when he answered
no
the
hold
phone?
on I
It was
got
early
that.
in the morning as
I
well.
got that from the quarterback from Mississippi State, and I got my quarterback Q from North Carolina. They both working down by Coach Tom Shaw. So I need to get in the video room so we can watch tape, so I can help them break down the
Yeah.
tape. So I forgot my passcode to the NFL, whatchamacallit, on my
Game Pass.
iPad.
Get it
Yeah,
now.
Game Pass.
If you're listening.
Call Handsome Hank, man. He gave me his Game Pass, man.
I gotta get your number, Hank.
They got the thing on Hulu that fast, and we
Really?
was watching tape in like 10 minutes.
Hey, Ike, what did it sound like when Handsome answered the phone?
Hello?
We got to do.
I said, Handsome Hank. I ain't even say who I was, but like the third or fourth word, he was like, I was like, yeah.
I can recognize Ike on the phone.
What we got to do our Boxing Day show where everybody takes somebody else's voice and we do the whole show. I'll do Handsome, or maybe I'll do Ike. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Who's does an
We
impression?
could do it.
That would be a great show. Hello, and I'm Handsome Hank.
Warrior. Warrior.
Warrior.
Warrior.
I know how you
Confetti falling in Santa Clara, California.
That's too many syllables.
The Seattle Seahawks will not be there.
He like to say all the vowels, and I like to cut through the vowels.
Yeah.
He like to-
Yeah, no
He like
vowel.
to say all
No
the
vowel for I.
No vowels.
Hey, NFL Now, Maurice and Ike doing the best work in all of football media, covering it for you, and making you laugh along the way too. Something that's taboo apparently for many people who talk about the sport, but they will certainly entertain you. Tune into that, and like I say, we'll be back later in the week with our second podcast for you to get you ready for the title games. In the meantime, thanks so much, football fans, especially you, Denver Broncos fans. Kinda. It's been a thin slice of heaven. Give me a hug, handsome. It's been a tough week. Not really. I don't really want you touching me.
On the next DDFP.